Here is a fun stitch that you can do that only uses single crochet. It's single crochet the way you know how to do it. You just put them in a different place. I have always called this single crochet triplets, but I don't know if it has another name. And while we're on the subject, I have no idea how we came to our current obsession with giving stitch patterns names, because what I see happening is a lot of people calling a stitch a different thing, like a non-standard thing, and then nobody knows what a stitch is called. So I just don't call stitches anything. You could call this one Bob if you wanted to. Anyway, you want to, now when I did this, I did not put a single crochet row at the beginning. I just did the chain. So for this start, you want to chain a multiple of 3 single crochet in the second chain from hook, skip 2 chain, 3 single crochet in the next chain, skip 2 chain, 3 single crochet in the next chain, and that's going to get you started. And then after that, you're going to, well, let's go back to the beginning of the row. I think that might be easier. The other thing I want to point out while we're talking about the chain rows, you'll notice with a lot of crochet stitches, the chain is about the width of the piece you're going to do, but the way this one starts, it sort of sticks out over the edge, so you're going to get it a little wider than your starting chain. And the other thing I want to point out, which I think is a feature, not a bug, is you have this little scalloped edge. So I like it because you don't have to go put an edging on your piece later. You can just use that for the edging because I think it's cute, but you will do you when you are making your project. So at the end of the row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Oops, I already did. So we have these little triplets, these little groups of 3 single crochet. So we're going to skip the first one, put 3 single crochet in the next one. 1, 2, 3, skip 2. So that's the third one of this triplet and the first one of this triplet, and put 3 single crochet in the next one. So if you don't feel like counting, and who amongst us does, basically you're putting a triplet in the center single crochet of each triplet. So if you're cruising right along, you don't, I mean, obviously you're going to count 2, that's not so hard, but all you're doing is looking for the center stitch of the next triplet and putting a triplet in there. So what I like about this stitch is all you have to know how to do is single crochet. Honestly, you don't have to know another single stitch. I like the texture of it. I've done sweaters in this. I've done scarves in this. I just think it's a nice texture. It's dense without being heavy. And I also like that it's reversible because a lot of stitch patterns, of course, look cool on one side and not so hot on the other. So this is a single crochet triplet stitch, and I hope you like it.
How to do the found.
See how nice and straight my edges are, and I don't have any little gaps? One of the ways I do this is with a standing double crochet at the beginning of my row. So instead of doing chain 3 and turn, I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to pull a loop up that is approximately the height of my stitches, bring that hook around, yarn over and draw up a loop. Now I have 2 loops on my hook, and I'm going to make my double crochet like I normally would. This works for double crochet, obviously. And so now there is that little extra horizontal thing there, but it gives me a super straight edge.
Welcome back to my Learn to Crochet series. Today we're going to be learning our first real crochet stitch, the single crochet. To start, we're going to make a chain of 15 to work off of. And as you see, when you look at the chain, each stitch looks like a little V. We're going to find the stitch that is closest to the hook, skip it, and move to the next V to begin our first single crochet stitch. You're going to insert your hook into the top part of the V, yarn over and pull 1 loop through. You're going to yarn over again and pull through both of the loops on your hook. And that's how to single crochet. So again, insert your hook into the top part of the chain. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over and pull through both of the loops on your hook. Continue working this pattern until you get to the very end of your chain. Now that you've completed your very first row of single crochets, we're going to have to start a new row. To start a new row of single crochets, you are going to chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work in a clockwise motion away from the hook. You're going to insert your hook into the full V part of the single crochet stitch. And again, you're going to yarn over, pull a loop through the entirety of the single crochet V, yarn over again, and pull through both loops on your hook. And continue repeating this pattern and process until you feel like you have a good handle on it. The single crochet is a great foundation stitch, and a lot of other crochet stitches build upon it. So give yourself some time to work on just a nice little square of single crochets so that you can feel like you've built that muscle memory. Let me know if you have any questions about how to single crochet, and in our next video, we're going to talk through how to double crochet.
Linked double crochets are a really fun stitch to learn. They are similar to double crochet stitches, but they don't have that space between the stitches like double crochets do. They still have a lot of drape. They're still really tall and fast to make, but here's the difference. So in a regular double crochet, you would yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is a regular double crochet. And if you're going to start your linked double crochet, you can start with a regular double crochet because you have nothing to link your stitch to yet. So your first stitch would be just a regular stitch. Then on your following stitches when you can start linking your stitches. So instead of doing another double crochet like this, where you yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, that's still just a regular double crochet. Instead of doing that, you're going to insert your hook here in this kind of slanted horizontal bar, and then you'll yarn over. That takes the place of the first yarn over that you do in the double crochet. Then you complete your stitch as normal. So then you insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, just like on a regular double crochet. Then you'll yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And you can see what happened was we linked those 2 stitches together. There's no longer a space between stitches like there was right here when we did a double crochet and another double crochet. So once you do your first linked stitch, it gets a lot easier to see where you insert your hook. So on your next linked stitch, you just insert your hook kind of from top to bottom underneath that horizontal bar that's right there. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that is a linked double crochet. What I'm doing down here is actually linked double crochets, and I'm working them through the back bar. So that's another variation. So in order to do that, you would make a regular linked double crochet, but you would just work it underneath that back loop right here. Sorry, not the back bar, but the back loop. So you would insert your hook here, pull up a loop. Then you would insert your hook working into that back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And so what that does is it makes this extra ridge right here. So you can see it just gives it a little bit of extra texture. You don't need to do that for a linked double crochet. That's just an extra variation that I'm working on here. I'm making a stretchy leg warmer, and I wanted there to be some extra texture here. So that's some cool linked double crochet stuff for you guys to try out.
In the watermelon blanket pattern, what we're doing is we are changing colors and then carrying our color behind instead of like snipping and then like weaving. So here's how you do that. In the last stitch where we're double crocheting, you're going to yarn over with your current color. You're going to insert your hook and pull through like so. You'll have 2 loops on your hook, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your old color or current color, bring it down, and you're going to bring your new color and bring it behind. And this hides the color change there. You're going to yarn over and pull through. So that way you're going to be having a very clean color change. And then we're going to carry this color. And carrying it is much easier than it sounds. So it's not going to sit on top, but it's going to sit behind those stitches there. So you are going to just continue to crochet, but you're going to make sure that this new color is hidden behind that stitch there. If it were to sit on top, here's what it'll look like. If it sits on top, you will see that color peeking through, and we don't want that. So make sure that that new color, well, not that new color, but the other color is hidden behind the stitch, and you are going to go into your stitch and behind that color so that you're grabbing and hiding and tucking it there. And that is how you change your color in double crochet and then carry that color. And this is what it looks like on the back. So it's nothing too beautiful on the back because you're going to see some color change, but the front looks beautiful.
This is my new favorite stitch and I have no idea what it's called, so please tell me if you know. Basically, it's a variation on half double crochet. So your first stitch in each row is going to be a normal half double crochet. Then you insert your hook into, I'm calling it that third leg on the previous half double crochet, and then into the stitch, and then finish out your half double crochet. So basically, instead of yarning over, you're inserting your hook into that third leg of the previous half double crochet and then finishing out the stitch. I decided to work into the back loops, so I'm doing this stitch, and then when I insert my hook into the next stitch, I'm just working into that back loop, but you can also work under the full stitch, and I'll show you what that looks like. I love the way this looks. I think it really elevates the normal half double crochet. So here's what just half double crochet looks like. Like, it's fine, but nothing special. And then this is normal half double crochet in the back loops only. And then this is our variation working under the full stitch, and then here's the variation working into the back loops only. Each of these swatches are 30 stitches wide, so it's interesting that each variation gets denser and denser, and so I thought this would be perfect for making a headband because it'll keep you warm and it's so beautiful.
Episode 11 of the Complete Crochet Guide for Beginner Crocheters. If you're new here, my name is Nicole. I'm a professional crochet designer, and my goal is to help you learn all the crochet essentials so you can make absolutely anything you want. You're already 11 episodes in. If you're sticking with it, now is the time to give yourself a pat on the back because you are making so much progress. We're so close to finishing up all of the crochet stitch basics, and today we're going to be covering how to make the double crochet stitch. The double crochet stitch is a great stitch to learn because it stands at nearly double the height of your average crochet stitch. This means that a project made entirely out of double crochet stitches could be completed in nearly half the time. Plus, you'll see this crochet stitch in a ton of patterns, so it makes sense to learn this stitch early on. I'm going to demo the double crochet stitch for you starting on my left hand, and then I'll show you on my right hand. If you're right-handed, feel free to skip ahead now, otherwise let's get into it.
Okay, so we're starting with our chain here. You can have a chain that's however long you'd like. And now we're just going to count to the third chain from our hook and turn that over. We can find the third back bump from our hook. So here's the third from our hook. That is where we're going to work this first stitch into. So we're skipping over 2 chains here that we will not work into. And we're just going to yarn over. We're going to turn to face that third chain from our hook, and we will insert our hook and yarn over and pull up a loop. And now at this point it looks exactly like a half double crochet stitch, but instead here we're going to yarn over and we're only pulling through the first 2 loops on our hook. So now we have 2 loops remaining. We're going to yarn over again and just pull through the remaining 2 loops to complete the double crochet stitch. So let's run through it one more time. We're yarning over, inserting our hook into the next chain from our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to pinch those first 2, yarn over, pull through the first 2, pinch the first one, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops to complete the double crochet stitch. And when you've got the hang of it, you can go ahead and complete the first row here. So we've got all of our double crochet stitches nice and even across. All right, so starting off, we've got our long chain here, and you can make this however long you'd like. First thing we're going to do is count 3 chains away from our hook. So turning it over, we found the third back bump from our hook, and that is where we're going to work into. So we're going to skip over the first 2 chains and work directly into the third chain from our hook. So we're just yarning over, finding that third chain from our hook, insert your hook, and then we're just going to yarn over again and pull through a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. The next thing we're going to do is yarn over, and we're going to pull through the first 2 loops. So that's where we differ from a half double crochet. And we're going to yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops now to complete the double crochet stitch. To make the next one, we'll yarn over, insert our hook into the next chain from our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. So with 3 loops on our hook now, we will yarn over and only pull through the first 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops on our hook to complete the double crochet stitch. So I've just gone and completed the full row, and you can see we've got all our double crochet stitches here, nice and even across.
Now we're all set. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, but if you have any questions at all on the double crochet stitch or anything else, please let me know.
This is how you single crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to insert your hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop, then insert your hook into the next stitch and pull up another loop, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook.
Here are 2 easy stitches to step up your crochet game. This first stitch is single crochet back loop only. So we're going to start looking at the top of our work, and instead of going through both loops like we do for regular crochet, we're just going to put our hook through the back loop. Then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. This technique creates a stretchy fabric with these ridges. It's good for beanies and sweater cuffs where you want that stretch. Next we have the thermal stitch. So starting off with a row of single crochet, chain 1, and turn your work. This one's a little bit tricky at first, but you're going to go through the back loop like we just did, and you're also going to go through this loop from your chain, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. You're basically crocheting on the side of your project, and that's what gives it the thickness. And then as this one works up, it gets a little bit easier to find that second loop in the back. This stitch creates a sturdy fabric. You can see it's not as holey as regular single crochet. This is a good stitch for bag handles and pot holders.
We have been having fun with half double crochet this week, and the other thing I wanted to show you is half double crochet in the horizontal or 3rd bar. And what this does is it gives you this sort of horizontal ridge in your work, which can actually be super cute. So we're going to make the stitch like we normally would. We're going to yarn over, and instead of going in the top of the stitch like I normally would if I was just working back and forth in rows, I'm going to yarn over and bring my hook from bottom to top under that horizontal bar that's on the side of the work that's facing me. Yarn over and draw it through, yarn over and draw through 3 to finish the stitch. Let's do that again. We're going to yarn over. We're going to bring our hook from bottom to top under that horizontal bar in the front, yarn over, draw it through, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, draw through 3. One more time. Yarn over, bottom to top under that horizontal bar, yarn over and draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 3. So you're making the half double crochet the way you always would. You're just putting it in a different place. And what that does, instead of hiding this little loop, this little column of loops we have going on here because we're putting the stitches in it, by working in that bar, it's forcing those loops away from us, and it's giving us this horizontal ridge. So it's just a texture stitch. It's a fun thing to do, and I thought I'd share. Thanks so much.